One of the best feel-good stories going into the NBA this season was Yuki Kawamura. He's the new shortest NBA player listed at 5'7" and one of the 10 shortest NBA players in history. He stands a foot shorter than the average NBA player, which is 6'7", which makes you wonder how this is even possible. Yuki's performances for Japan at the Paris Olympics shocked the basketball world, and after dazzling for the Memphis Grizzlies in preseason, everybody has been rooting for the Japanese phenomenon. But so far, things haven't gone quite as well as people had hoped, and this short king is facing the brutal reality that size matters, especially in the NBA. The odds are against him, but defying them is something Yuki Kawamura has done his entire life. He never played college or high school basketball in the US. He was a high school prodigy in Japan, winning back-to-back national championships and became one of the youngest pros in Japanese league history at just 16 years old. He first started making noise against top competition playing with the national team at the FIBA World Cup qualifiers, mesmerizing fans with his creativity and Showtime-like passing skills.
Kawamura from downtown, right at the buzzer. So that gives Japan a little.
Kawamura now running six. Harrells has made 1-3, goes for another one, and the former Kentucky Wildcat, Kawashima. There's the penetration, what a dive. Oh, baby! Seconds left. Kawamura's got to get something going. Kawamura step back, huge three. Arigato gozaimasu! Sugoi! Wow, Yuki Kawamura!
Fast forward to the 2023 FIBA World Cup, playing against top competition from all over the world, Kawamura proved that he belonged, averaging 13.6 points and 7.5 assists per game for the tournament. But where he really caught everyone's eye was that famous game against Finland. Japan were massive underdogs going into this game, up against NBA All-Star Lauri Markkanen. Nobody gave them a chance, but Yuki Kawamura had other ideas, and produced one of the clutchest fourth quarter performances in the history of FIBA.
Company up by 6. He does it! He's open his eye!
Yuki finished this game with 25 points, scoring 15 straight in the fourth quarter to win the game. This was Japan's first ever win over a European nation, and they qualified for the knockout stages for the first time in nation's history. Following his heroics with the national team, Yuki Kawamura took his game to another level in the Japanese Pro League, winning not just Rookie of the Year but also MVP that same season, while leading the league in assists. He was called up again for the opportunity of a lifetime, to represent his country at the 2024 Paris Olympics. Once again, Japan were slept on in this tournament. Nobody expected them to do anything, and after losing their tournament opener to the world champions by 20 points, going into their next game against France, it was pretty simple. You lose, you go home. Yuki Kawamura had never played in a game like this before, sharing the court with Rudy Gobert, Rui Hashimura, Nando De Colo, Yabusele, Batum, Lazor, Ntilikina, and of course the tallest player in the tournament, Victor Wembanyama. But yet with all this talent, it was the shortest player who rose above them all. For all the NBA and EuroLeague talent featured, the best player on the court in this game was the unknown Japanese prodigy. He led the game in scoring with 29 points along with 6 assists and somehow 7 rebounds while going up against the Eiffel Twin Towers.
Kawamura, long range, great rotation, and that's good. Umada. His left to the hoop and off the glass. Kawamura dancing long range. And on the run. Lamar gets into the paint. Back out to Hawkinson. Kawamura drives to the basket. And they take spins. Shoots the three and it's good.
Unfortunately though, due to some very controversial calls down the stretch that benefited the host nation, Kawamura's incredible effort counted for nothing, and the French scraped a lucky victory. Without Rui Hashimura, Japan were blown out in their final game against Brazil, finishing the Olympics with 0 wins from 3 games, and they were eliminated in the group phases. Once again, Kawamura did everything he could, with 21 points and 10 assists against Brazil, but it wasn't enough to lead his team to victory. Individually, Yuki Kawamura Kawamura had proved himself on the global stage. He averaged 20.3 points and 7.7 assists in the Olympics. He was the only player in Paris to be top 3 in both assists and points per game. That's really saying something in a tournament that included LeBron James, Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Kawamura's performances caught the attention of NBA teams, and he got his big shot with the Memphis Grizzlies, becoming just the 4th Japanese player in history to make an NBA team. Most people expected this experiment to be short-lived. It was only an Exhibit 10 contract, and the chances of Yuki actually making the Grizzlies roster seemed impossible. But everything changed in NBA preseason, when Yuki Kawamura surprised everybody again, being one of the standout players in NBA warm-up games. In his first game against the Mavericks playing in garbage time, Kawamura made a short but solid impression, with a couple of highlight assists. From the tipped rebound here, Yuki is quick to react, with a pinpoint pass slicing the defensive setup for an easy 2. And then again here, catching the defense off guard with his speed and slipping through a bounce pass in the give and go with Jay Huff. In his second game, this time against the Hornets, watch how Kawamura draws the attention of multiple defenders, creates space for his teammate, cutting to the basket and finds him right on cue, perfectly executed, resulting in 2 points. During these 2 preseason games, Kawamura showed enough in limited playing time that he deserved a chance. So the next game against the Indiana Pacers, he got a proper opportunity to show what he can do, and to say he left a lasting impression would be an understatement. Kawamura had 10 points and a game-high 7 assists. These weren't normal passes either. He was picking apart the defense, throwing no-look dimes and setting his teammates up for easy opportunities. Watch here how Yuki penetrates and leaves the defense puzzled with a turnaround no-look bounce pass into Edey down low for a 2-handed slam. And then again here, Yuki sets up on the drive as if he's about to kick out to the shooter, but in the corner of his eye spots the backdoor cut and throws a ridiculous no-look bounce pass to Jay Huff, leaving James Wiseman with no idea what had just hit him. Yet again, look how he uses his eyes to deceive the defense. Yuki on the drive doesn't want to finish over the shot blocker, so he spins, positions his body as if he's about to kick out to Jaren Jackson Jr., but anticipates the closeout and wraps it around to the corner for an easier, higher percentage catch and shoot shot, which Jay Huff knocks down with ease. It doesn't stop there. Here again, half spin by his defender to get into the lane, then a no-look behind the head pass to Jalen Wells for an easy finish close to the basket, and then right here, a beautiful lob pass to the roller for the alley-oop slam.
Great basket. Oh my goodness!
He also made some big shots in this game.
Kennard goes inside, whips it out. And a 3 is perfect by Kawamura.
This wasn't just great point guard play, this was a playmaking masterclass. And it wasn't a one-off either. In his next game against the Bulls, it was more of the same. Watch Yuki take it baseline and dump it off to Wells in the lane right here, and then again probing the defense, Yuki circulating, anticipates the cut from Zach Edey, and dishes another no-look dime his way for a 2-handed slam. An essential skill for every point guard in today's NBA is being competent in the pick and roll. Kawamura excels at this. Despite not being in Memphis very long, he knows his teammates' strengths and weaknesses. Watch the chemistry with Jay Huff. Memphis runs horns, Huff slips to the basket, and Kawamura rises over his defender to find him on the roll for a dunk in the lane. Then this time, they mix it up, running a pick and pop. Coming round the screen, Vucevic stays in drop coverage, Jay Huff pops out, Yuki finds him, and he sinks a free ball from the top of the key. Yuki's quick first step allows him to beat most defenders off the dribble, and despite moving at electrifying speeds, he's still able to make reads all over the court. Going downhill on this play, he beats his man, draws in the attention of the help defense, and then picks out his teammate on the cut for the score. And then again, Yuki turning the corner at speed, with one hand blindly kicks out to the corner for an open trifecta. He only scored 2 points in this game, but they were crucial. With the game on the line, Kawamura had the confidence to step up and take the game-deciding foul shots, and also had the composure to knock them both down to secure victory for his team. Yuki Kawamura finished the preseason averaging 4.2 assists per game, which in 15 minutes of playing time is incredible. Based on those numbers, if he was to play 30 minutes a night, he'd be averaging 8.2 assists, which would put him in the top 5 in the entire NBA this season. But while his passing passing is up there with the best guards in the NBA, he wasn't scoring at the rate required for an NBA guard. Yuki averaged 3.4 points, shot 21% from the field and 25% from three-point range. And while that isn't good enough, the Grizzlies still saw the potential and decided to upgrade his two-way contract to a standard one-year non-guaranteed NBA deal. But so far, scoring the ball hasn't been any easier in the regular season. Yuki has played in 14 NBA games so far and is averaging just 1 point per game. It's important to add that he's almost exclusively playing in garbage time, shown by the fact that he's logging on average under 3 minutes per game, but the efficiency is still a massive problem. He's struggled with the adjustment to the NBA's further three-point line and is shooting 18% from the perimeter and just 26% from the field. And although we don't expect him to take it to the basket and finish over 7-footers at the rim, he cannot finish inside point blank period. Matter of fact, Yuki Kawamura went the entire preseason not making a single shot from inside the arc. That's simply not going to cut it, because the reality of being a point guard in today's NBA is that if you're not a scoring threat, you're predictable. In the regular season, teams take the scouting reports more seriously and are well aware that Yuki will always look to pass, which makes creating opportunities for his teammates a lot more challenging. The hype is real though. Kawamura is a fan favourite in every arena he plays in. Just check out the reception he received from the away crowd when he scored his first NBA field goal.
A turnaround jumper. Why not?
Yuki, step back three. Yes!
Remember though, just because Yuki Kawamura isn't on a two-way contract anymore doesn't mean he can't play in the G League. So far, he's played 5 games with the Memphis Hustle, and what we've seen from him in the G League so far is a lot more like the Yuki we all know and love from FIBA.
Again, Johnson, who goes into double figures with 11. Here's the lob to Pereira!
Yuki Kawamura is currently leading the G League in assists with 11.8 per game, making him well on pace to break the record for most assists per game in G League history. The fewest assists he's recorded in a G League game so far is 9. He's had double-digit assists 3 times. He had a near triple-double with 15 points, 11 assists, 8 rebounds and 3 assists against the Birmingham Squadron, but his most impressive game so far came against the Magic's G League team. Kawamura had 15 points and 16 assists, and was just unstoppable in this game.
Williamson to answer, and he does. Kawamura out to Norris, looking for 2 in a row, and he got it. Woodard, the second into the game. Woodard got that haircut down a little bit. Here he goes to the rim and lays it up and in. Castleton has 10 points. All 5 of his buckets, I think, have been in the restricted area. Kawamura's 3.
Yuki for 3.
What's obvious for everybody to see is that Yuki Kawamura is a generational passer. He isn't one of these taller guards who can see over defenses. He's out there among the giants, seeing things that nobody else can see. But the same problem Yuki is having in the NBA is still the case in the G League. He can't score the ball efficiently, shooting 27% from the field and also 27% from three-point range. As a short player, he has to be able to knock down jump shots. And although he's struggled so far, there is reason to be optimistic about his potential as a shooter. During the Olympics, Kawamura attempted 11 three-point attempts per game. He made 41% of them, and at the FIBA World Cup the year prior, he shot 35% from downtown. These numbers are pretty consistent from when he played pro in Japan too. In 144 appearances over the last 3 seasons, Yuki shot 42% from the perimeter. Obviously, doing that in the NBA is a lot harder, it's the best league in the world, but that's a big enough sample size for me to believe that he is a capable shooter and is currently in a slump. He said in an interview that since high school he shoots 600 three-pointers every day, so I have faith that with that work ethic, he'll become a consistent shooter over time. We spoke earlier about him not being able to attack the basket, and while he's never going to be a high flyer and will probably never dunk, he has started experimenting with his float game in the G League and he has a natural soft touch. This shot will be essential for him if he's to have any chance of making a career in the NBA. If he can master after that, then he'll have a reliable go-to scoring move when penetrating the defense to mix things up instead of always looking to kick out to the shooter or finding a teammate cutting to the basket. Now, what surprised a lot of people about Yuki Kawamura is that at 5'7", often tasked with guarding taller players literally a foot taller than him, you'd expect him to be a defensive liability like most guards. Well, Kawamura is proving that heart is more important than height. He's held his own defensively when guarding taller NBA defenders, making up for what he lacks in size and effort. He's surprisingly physical, is incredibly agile, can easily stay in front of defenders, and gives maximum effort on closeouts and to get a hand up to contest shots. He can be a pest, pick the ball handler's pocket, has good defensive instincts in the passing lanes, great hands, strips opponents on the drive, and is more than willing to put his body on the line for his team, which Grizzlies fans known for their grit and grind mentality have already fallen in love with. The truth is, it's never going to be easy for Yuki Kawamura in the NBA, and he knows this. He even said, quote, "Playing basketball at this size is very challenging. I believe the differences in height and jumping ability can be overcome with determination. I hope that seeing me will encourage kids who do not have size not to give up." All the odds are stacked against Yuki Kawamura, and yet he continues to defy them. He's a 5'7" Japanese basketball player in the NBA. He's not supposed to have made it this far, so why can't he make it further? When he first signed, people speculated that his signing was a marketing stunt to recreate the iconic Muggsy Bogues Minute Ball picture with Zach Edey and appeal to the Asian demographic. But Yuki Kawamura has quickly put those doubts to bed. He's shown that he's an incredible basketball player, and what he's doing on the court shouldn't be possible. But there are a lot of question marks. He is, after all, still averaging 1 point per game. He cannot hit a shot right now, and ultimately, for everything else he brings to the table, that is what's ultimately going to make or break his career. Breaking into the Grizzlies rotation won't be easy either. This isn't a tanking team that has time to experiment. They're a top 2 seed in the West with a ton of depth at the guard position. From Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Marcus Smart, even Scottie Pippen Jr. It's not going to be easy for him to find playing time, but it's not supposed to be. But regardless of whether it's in the NBA or elsewhere, Yuki Kawamura has a lot to offer the game of basketball. He'll continue to be a standout player for his country at international tournaments, and best believe with all the short guards dominating in EuroLeague right now, if he ever does become available, they'll be quick to snap him up. Something tells me though that his relationship with Ja Morant might keep him around for just a little longer. But listen, this video is about the NBA's shortest player. It's only right that I send you over to another video talking about the fattest NBA player, and that's Kenneth Lofton Jr. We talked about him, his time in the NBA with the Grizzlies. Go click the box in the middle of your screen right here to go watch that video. Like and subscribe if new around, and on that note, it's DKM signing out until next time, and peace.